The starless gulf beyond the Varan frontier was not meant for mortal eyes. Even the sturdiest alien vessels feared the abyss, a place where sensors failed, where compasses spun, where countless fleets had vanished without a trace. For centuries, the galaxy had whispered legends about the endless dark. Nothing entered it and returned unchanged. Tonight, the people of Raynar Station were certain they would not return at all. The invaders, a species known only as the Vrytha, had appeared without warning, shimmering into real space like obsidian wraiths. Their ships possessed no identifiable engines, no heat signatures, no communication frequencies, only jagged silhouettes slicing through starlight like blades of night. Raynar Station's defenses had fallen in minutes. Now, thousands of refugees, scientists, healers, diplomats, huddled in the main habitat ring as the Vrytha dreadnoughts encircled them, slowly tightening their formation. The station's commander had already signaled surrender, but the Vrytha didn't acknowledge surrender. They erased civilizations first, then analyzed the ruins later. Hope had already died here. Susan Hale stood at the viewport, watching the black-armored ships constrict in a flawless circle. The light from Raynar's dying star glinted faintly across their exoshells, revealing no seams, no bridges, nothing that resembled a living mind. Just perfect geometric cruelty. Her throat tightened. "It's over," whispered Dr. Velen behind her. His frilled crest drooped. "The galaxy's finest diplomats gathered for peace, and now we die because the Vrytha see no value in life." Susan didn't answer. She was human, one of only 3 stationed permanently on Raynar. Her people were known for their tenacity, for surviving the impossible, but even she couldn't lie to herself now. The Vrytha dreadnoughts darkened the stars. No fleet could reach Raynar in time. No species possessed weapons that could punch through Vrytha quantum shielding. And no rescue force would dare enter the endless dark. No one, except a whisper behind her. "Susan?" She turned. Evan Markle, tall, calm, carrying that strange human confidence even now, approached with urgency, vibrating beneath his composed exterior. "You feel it too, don't you?" he murmured. She frowned. "Feel what?" He didn't explain. Instead, he pointed through the viewport at the abyss behind the Vrytha fleet, a region of space so black that even the stars around it seemed afraid to shine. "They're backing away from something," Evan said quietly. She followed his gaze. He wasn't wrong. The Vrytha dreadnoughts, monuments of fear, were subtly adjusting formation, not tightening their circle around Raynar Station, but expanding it, moving outward, defensive. The Vrytha were afraid. "Of what?" Susan whispered. The lights inside the station flickered, once, twice, before stabilizing. A soft tremor rolled through the habitat ring. Then every sensor display across the command deck erupted in frantic color: gravimetric distortion, radiation inversion, space-time shear. The endless dark was stirring. A new signal emerged, deep, resonant, unmistakably artificial. It quaked through the station's foundations, rattling bones, vibrating glass. This was no distress call, no warning. It was a declaration of arrival. The command deck fell silent, and out of the abyss, something colossal began to take shape. At first it looked like a mirage, a ghost of polished metal coalescing from the void, but the longer Susan stared, the more detail surfaced. Towers, spinal cannons, radiant armor plating, shield arrays the size of cities. A warship, a human warship, not just any, one she recognized only from forbidden files and whispered myths. The UNS Resolute, a Titan-class dreadnought. The kind of vessel built only during the Silent Wars, when humanity fought enemies that consumed stars. It was impossible. The Resolute had vanished 70 years ago. Evan exhaled, his voice cracking. They came. Susan felt something dangerous and fierce swell in her chest. Hope. The Wraitha reacted instantly. Their dreadnoughts repositioned into a hunter's wedge, surrounding the human vessel, their hulls unfolded, blooming with midnight-colored weapons. Space around them rippled from the pressure of compressed dimensions. The humans did not respond. The Resolute simply drifted forward, silent, sovereign, its hull glowing faintly with the pale blue burn of awakened systems. It moved like a leviathan returning to familiar waters. Susan watched the display screens erupt with translation requests. "The ship is broadcasting," an officer gasped. "An old human military cipher. Pre-Union. Nobody should even have this key." But Evan did. Without hesitation, he strode toward the nearest console and entered a series of commands so quickly Susan barely followed his hands. The liaison officers stared at him in shock. "How—" "I'm a Markel," he said simply. "My family helped build the Resolute." The transmission decrypted. A voice, calm, steady, unmistakably human, filled the command deck. "Raynar Station. This is UNS Resolute. We detected hostile incursion and responded." Susan felt tears prick her eyes. The station commander choked. "But you were lost. Gone. The silent war ended decades ago." "Correction. We were preparing." A shudder passed through the Wraitha formation, because now the Resolute wasn't just drifting, it was aligning. Mass drivers rotated with planetary weight. Energy conduits blazed to life along the warship's spinal column. The dreadnought's prow glowed white-hot as reactors awoke from a slumber older than most star nations. The galaxy had legends about humans, that they were fragile yet unstoppable, merciful until provoked, quiet until someone threatened something they loved. And when humans finally struck back, they struck back with the fury of suns. The Wraitha fired first. Space detonated in a cascade of black lance energy, silent beams that erased asteroids, moons, entire battle groups. The rays carved toward the human behemoth. The Resolute's shields shimmered once and held, not even scorched. Then humanity answered. A single shot from the spinal cannon lanced across the void. No beam, no explosion, just a line of pure gravitational collapse. Reality folded where it struck, devouring the Wraitha flagship in a silent implosion. Dozens of Wraitha ships panicked, fracturing formation. Another shot, another implosion. The Resolute moved with the calm precision of a god, choosing which stars to extinguish. Within minutes, the Wraitha fleet broke. Their geometry fractured. Dreadnoughts retreating into FTL in jagged bursts, fleeing into the same dark they had once ruled. Silence returned. The Resolute's engines dimmed. Susan realized she had been gripping Evan's arm the whole time. The human warship drifted closer, its colossal shadow enveloping Raynar Station like a protective mantle. The transmission returned, this time softer. "Raynar Station, you are safe." For the first time since the invasion began, the refugees wept. Relief, disbelief, gratitude. Entire species alive because a single human warship had emerged from myth. Evan turned to Susan, voice trembling with wonder. "They lost all hope," he said. "But humanity didn't." Susan smiled faintly. "No," she whispered. "We never do."